Today we turn the calendar to April, but America is still in the midst of March Madness. With the Final Four beginning on Saturday, we're taking a look at why we love this sports tradition along with so many others. And here to give us the answers this afternoon is Randy Roberts, a distinguished professor of history at Purdue. Good afternoon. Thanks for coming in.
Alex, happy to be here.
All right, so first we want to start with the etymology. Why do we even call this March Madness?
Well, it started later because it was played in March,
Right.
obviously. And it doesn't occur until really the 1970s that we start getting it, later in the 70s.
And talk about how this progressed from a tournament of just 25 teams where conference champions were the only ones allowed into the monstrosity that we have today.
That's right. If you look at back in 1974, for example, 25 teams. No two teams from one conference. In 1974, three of the top five teams were from the Atlantic Coast Conference, but only one got to go. The Big Ten that year, it was a tie between Michigan and Indiana, and Michigan prevailed and went to the championships.
So why does everybody love March Madness so much? We got the underdog factor, and that's probably a big reason, but everybody just seems to want to quit work and start talking about the brackets when we turn that calendar over.
Oh, it's just great. You always have the upsets. You've got these great coaches. This year, it's got to be one of my favorite years. It's the Big Ten versus the evil empires.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you have Mike Krzyzewski, whose name should be should be the final word on a spelling bee. Let's face it. And John Calipari. I mean, are you going to buy a used car from that guy?
No.
Versus Bo and Tom. The Big Ten representatives.
And looking forward to this weekend. How do you think the games are going to turn out? Any ideas?
In my bracket, I have Kentucky and Duke. In my heart, I want Wisconsin and Michigan State in the finals.
Now let's talk about, especially within the conferences, there's these rivalries. ACC of North Carolina and Duke, Big Ten, basically pick any two teams. Why do we love the rivalries so much? What does it really hit us to make us love these two teams going at each other?
Well, I think part of the rivalry of the March Madness is that we've lost it from the league rivalries. It's as if the Big Ten tournament, which is kind of new anyway.
Right.
It doesn't really matter who wins the Big Ten or who wins the Big Ten tournament because the top 5 or 6 or 7 teams are all going to go.
Right.
So the real rivalries are now taking place in March and, if you're really lucky, in April.
Right. All right, Randy Roberts. We'll see how the rest of this tournament turns out. Again, Final Four starts on Saturday with the national championship on Monday. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate the insight.
I enjoyed it. Looking forward to it.
All right.